a scheduled text message on a specific date with a smart campaign, because you can create an automated scheduled mass email. This is a little bit of a different animal with a text, and I figured out a way of which you can do this for specific items or specific like birthdays, anniversaries, or a date such as a holiday. And then I created all of these yesterday in my burst of creativity, and then I collapsed, right? But basically, this is going to help everyone automate all of this information. And the codes in here are actually the campaigns you can copy and add to your own database in seconds. So right now I'm sharing this document with all of you in the chat. And then Christian will also make sure this is posted with the videos and all that good stuff. Also, as an aside, I'm trying to get this added as default information to kvCORE. However, if it isn't anytime soon, we do have these campaigns readily available for you to grab today and use today going forward in seconds.
So you're going to show us the share feature as well, it looks like,
Yep.
on top of that. Awesome.
Yeah, so we're going to look at how to create a campaign shell, like what's it for, and then we're going to create the template within, and then we're going to add the template so it's triggered on a specific date.
Okay.
So there's all sorts of neat little things here. And if you're from the United States, I am going to be working on a US based type of holiday list as well. I just got started with Canada.
Showing favorites, I get it.
Yeah, well, you know, I had Canada on the mind. I talk with a lot of people up in Canada, Ontario, Mississauga, which I learned how to spell very well now, and in that area. So, you know, I just figured I was like, let's talk about Canadian holidays, and then we'll pop in and supply some stuff to the people in the US as well.
Cool.
Yeah. So if you have questions while we're speaking, I'm pretty sure Christian's monitoring the chat, Q&A, all that good stuff. So we'll respond when we can. And away we go. So the whole idea behind this doc here is that you can come in here and you can say, all right, well, this is going to be a campaign for New Year's 2022. And within kvCORE, you can actually build a date trigger based campaign. So I created a campaign for all of you that I'm sharing to you that you can just snag as a copy and pull into your own database today.
Very cool.
So when you're looking at this sheet, like if we're looking to bring in like New Year's text campaign, the trigger on the 1st, and you can always change up these dates once you get it, because these are all on the date, but you can change it if you need to. This smart campaign share code comes from my dashboard because I created it and I'm sharing it with all of you. So then you can basically copy this link. And then we're going to go back into the dashboard and snag a copy in seconds. And then this is the custom message within. And you will be able to edit these or just leave them be. I tried to use verbiage that was very friendly or like kind of a wide base, nothing too secular, nothing too hallmarky, but just pleasant, right? And then these guys are called merge tags inside of these messages, and they'll actually automatically fill in your first name, the lead's first name, and then here it'll actually fill in your website as well. So I tried to make it as easy for you just to pull it over and put into use immediately as I could. So let's say you're looking at this today, or you're looking at this in the future, this list, and you're like, all right, let's get started on bringing these over. You're just going to copy this smart campaign share code. And you're going to go to your kvCORE dashboard, hover over marketing, and then smart campaigns. Now, as an aside, if you are a company admin or a team admin or an office admin wanting to bring campaigns into the system, make sure you check your scope of influence here. So if you're going to bring it in for the company, choose company. A specific office, pick that specific office, or if it's going to be within a team, you can do that as well. If you are a solo agent and that's the only dashboard access you have, you don't have admin access, you'll just see your own name sitting here like mine is. But if you're an admin, choose wisely. So let's say I wanted to bring that campaign in. I can just go over here to the far right. I'll make my screen a titch larger here for you. So you see this little copy icon. If you click that, this is where we can actually paste our key in and click add campaign. And then it's going to say, whoops, something went wrong. So obviously there's some type of a bug happening. This worked great for me about 2 minutes ago. So let me check something here, and we may have to pivot. So hold on here. Yeah, so it's not bringing it in like it should. Have you heard of any issues with smart campaigns today, Christian?
Honestly, no. This is the first I'm seeing it.
Excellent,
Yeah,
excellent, perfect. Okay,
this
so
happens.
it
Don't worry.
does, and it doesn't happen often, but look, hey, it does today.
It
So we're
does.
gonna pivot.
Yeah, it does happen a bit more with our demo accounts here because
Yeah,
we experiment quite a bit
it's like a
with.
mad lab in here,
Yeah,
basically.
so we might have done something absolutely
Yeah.
crazy to it ourselves.
Yeah, so let's do this instead. Let's go ahead and go into our own campaigns, and I'll show you how to create one, and then we'll circle back. And you know what? If you want to just talk with them real quick, I'm going to log all the way out and then log back in.
Yeah, no worries. This is actually really fun too because Annalisa, I was talking to Heather about campaigns and adding actions yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So this is actually a pretty good segue. It's like a two-parter here.
Right.
And we did talk about date-based campaigns for things like holidays, but also other pieces that it can be used for are like, what do you call it? Newsletters,
Mm-hmm.
announcement emails. Guys, if you have like an exclusive listing that's coming soon, a date-based campaign is perfect for that, just to kind of like throw your property in front of everyone's face and make sure they're getting texts about it, emails and phone calls and stuff. I mean, you don't have to, bombard them with too much, but it's still a great way to kind of just lean into the different ways you can use the date-based campaigns. I'm testing this out on my own as well, just to kind of see if this is actually happening for.
I think basically I had to clear my cache.
Oh yeah, it's
Yep.
fine for me.
So we're good. So it was basically on my end of things where I had so much saved up. It was like, no, we're not loading for you today. Let's load back in. So we're good. Okay. So this is what it would actually look like. So let's forward this like 5 minutes from the start. Okay, here we are where we should be. So this is where you'll see your own campaign library. And then you can click this little copy dude and paste in your token. And then you click add campaign.
Yep.
And then if you're an admin, it's going to say, okay, is this for your company, your office, your team, or yourself? If you're an agent, it's just going to come in for you only and just go right in. But if you're an admin, you have to say, nope, I'm pulling this in for the company, for my agents, and it's on a specific date. And then you can choose the date. And we'll cover something more in depth on that in another training. But what you can do once you have these, it's like I can look in here and look at all my Canadian campaigns are right here. I can word search Canada or Canadian, and you can see my list of all of those campaigns that I built. And this is what you'll see after you add those text campaigns to your system. So if we open up like Canada Day, we can see here there's one text that goes on day 0. So it's going to go immediately on that day. And if you look over here, you'll see your campaign settings. It'll show you where you got it from, what the token was, and who created it. And then it'll say it will not run manually because it's a date based on a specific date. You will have to go in here and update these per year, which is fine. It's really easy to do. So like once this runs its course, you can come back in here, edit, and change it to 23. So basically, let me make my screen a little smaller here so it all loads back in. But to change these dates up, you just basically click the month and choose, or click the year and then just bump it down one for 2023. And then you would just choose the first. So that would be a really easy thing to do. Or you could say, you know what, let's just let her roll annually and set it and forget it, like that old Ron Popeil thing, right? So you have the ability to finesse this. And then it's going to say, who's it designed for? I designed it for everyone within your database. Now, if you don't want your vendors or agents to get this, you can say, all right, well, no, I just want this to go to buyer, seller, renters only, or the whole enchilada. Then it tells you what it is, the template, the purpose, and then the last one, number 4, review and add. It just gives you an overview of like, okay, what am I creating? What is it doing? When is it launching? And who's it for? And then when I click finish, it'll be set up in my own dashboard as an agent. Now, to see the information within this, you just click preview right here. And it shows you the message that will go out on that specific day. So happy Canada Day, first name, I wish you continued prosperity in our beautiful country, warm regards, and then your name and website. Now, if this is a saying that you're like, okay, look, I want to give it a little more of my flavor, or a quote that I resonate with that maybe somebody else will, you do have the ability now to edit this text campaign, because when you imported it, you also imported this template for this text. So what you're going to do if you want to edit this, because you can't edit it from here, like if you click edit here, it lets you edit this occurrence, but not the content. So you can edit the template if you want to change it out, or you could say, I want to change the start date or a specific date, and then you can update this. So this is like the function of what sends when it sends. To edit the actual message, we're going to leave this campaign. We're going to go back to all my campaigns. We're going to go to templates. And the easiest way for you to click and search the text is to click this text tab and then type in Canadian. And then it'll bring up all of those text campaigns that you have imported with my share code. So you'll be able to look at the Canada Day text. You can say, I want to clone this or edit it. So you can say, I'm going to clone it or edit it and make it my own. So if you clone it, it's going to create a copy, and then you can edit any of this information.
Can I just interject real quick here?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So guys, if you were here yesterday, you're probably already going to know this, but I want to repeat this information. Whenever you create your own copy, okay, it's always recommended that you put like your initials or some kind of label on it, okay? So whenever you make a campaign or even just a template, I really recommend putting on your initials, just like Annalisa did. I usually just put CJD copy, but
yeah,
you stick with what you know, but make sure you label it so you just remember that that one's yours.
That's super helpful. Or like if you wanted to differentiate this one, you could put a little asterisk by it too. There's like many ways, whatever makes sense to your peepers, so you can tell the difference. So we'll just put in my initials. And then if you wanted to add something additional, like another merge tag or add in more information, all you have to do is, let me move my cursor down a little bit. So if you do a curly bracket with a shift bracket, which is right next to the P on your keyboard, you can include all of these little shortcuts. So you can add in first name, last name, or full name. You know, you can scroll down and add in information like your information. So you could add in your cell number right here and just kind of back it up so it's right next to your website. So the warm regards, agent name, website, phone number, boom, out it goes. Now, once we have this cloned, what I normally do as a little shortcut for me, because inevitably I screw this up every time I do it, it's just a me thing. I've gotten into the habit of copying this template name. This is my like shortcut that saved my bacon more times than I can count. So I copy this and then I click clone template. So I'm making this a copy of what I created. So now you can see there's the Canada one that I had and the one we just effected change to. Let's say I want to replace this one and put this one in place. We're going to go back into that campaign for Canada Day. We're going to open that up. And I'm going to add an action of a text. And I'm going to paste in that name. And then I'm going to paste it here. And it immediately brings up the template we just created. This is a lifesaver. You can slide this over and double check what you wrote so you can see we added in that cell number. And then you can say, do I want it to start on a specific start date or, you know, like it doesn't matter because it's a one day only. So either one of these would work. And then you click add. So now we have the same action happening, but we want to get rid of this one. Well, we're just going to click the little X and say, adios, buddy. And now we have effectively replaced the initial default campaign text that I sent over and made it our own by adding that cell number. I'm hoping that makes sense to everybody on the execution. Anybody have any questions? How you doing?
Yeah. Feel free to let us let us know if you have any questions. You can raise your hand via the Zoom tool, and again, you can chat in your questions if you don't have a mic.
Yeah.
Can you just repeat kind of the entire process of the steps we took, including how you copied it? You just set it up in there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So what you'll have is this sheet here, which we've got, hey, look, a unicorn, an otter, and Christian sandwich right in there. That's kind of like a cozy little like cute sandwich, right? With an otter and a unicorn. So what you can do is you can actually take this list and grab this code, or maybe we want to do Family Day next. Then you just grab the code, copy it, and then you go to your platform, and then you'll have this little guy here. And I'm going to refresh that. You're going to click this little copy icon, drop in the code, and click Add Campaign. And then again, because I'm an admin, it's going to have me walk through these different steps. But if you're an agent, it's just going to pop right into your dashboard. Once it's in here, you can open up like the Family Day information and review it and say like, okay, what's going out? Let's take a look at the preview information here. I want to start my day. Wishes to you. Thank you for everything and happy Family Day. Agent, first name, and website. Did you want to say something, Christian?
No. I just bumped the mic there, but keep going.
Okay, gotcha. So then you can look over here and click edit to say like, okay, when is this going at a glance? So here's what it is, the template name, who's it to, or from and to, and then it's going to go specifically on this date of the 21st of February. No problem. You can also see this information right here. Now, one important step to keep in mind, if you're going to add this to people, you want to toggle it on so it's active. And this makes it so you can mass apply it to all the contacts in your system, or just a list of folks, or one by one if you wanted to. So this makes it really easy to go into your smart CRM and identify a grouping. So I'm just going to pull, we'll just pretend like we'll pretend my contacts is like my Canada list of all my Canadian contacts. I can go in here and choose different people to apply this to. So maybe I know like Christina, myself, Blair, and these people are all Canadian folks I want to connect this with. Or maybe I have a whole list I want to connect it with. I can choose this button here to choose all. But I'm going to pop this on just 2 people so we can have a example here. So if I want to add a campaign to more than one person, I just check off the people I want to add it to. I go to more actions, add campaign. Then I can say, yep, we're going to add this campaign to these folks. And just like that, the campaign is going to add and kick off. So if we open up the contact, we'll now see the active campaigns right now. I've got my Playbooks new buyer lead on my test account, and this will fire on that particular day. And I can remove it, restart it, but it'll just flow on that day automatically. I want to make sure we got any. Is it possible to import templates from Lion Desk? So Tom, you would need to create your own template, and I can show you how. It's really, really easy.
Yeah, it's basically, we don't have a direct connection in the campaigns that way with Lion Desk. So basically, what I'd say is just have both Lion Desk and kvCORE open in a window on your desktop. If you have 2 monitors, like me and Annalisa mostly do, it'll help. But in general, it's just going to have to be a copy paste, my man. So.
Yeah, and what I did, like for this, so I could share it with everybody. Now we've got a badger, love it. So what I did is I just created this table, and then I'm like, what's the purpose? And then I made sure what all the different dates are. Family Day, that was a new one for me. I know we have them across all these countries, but I didn't know when it was in Canada. So I went and found all the dates. Then I created the message. And then after I created the campaign, then I just popped the share code in here. So like if we were to build one of these from scratch, the first thing you'll do is go into marketing, smart campaigns. And you can do this for any like triggered scheduled text message that you need to send. So the first thing we're going to do is create our shell or like our naming convention for the campaign for that text. Then we're going to create the template that goes into it. And Veronica's saying, or just build and edit off the Canadian one. Exactly. Now someone's saying, Kim, what about the United States? I'm getting ready to build one for the United States. Yeah, Veronica, it's on my to-do list. I had this epiphany yesterday, like, well, why shouldn't I just make this? So I did. So I'll be working on the United States next.
And guys, what I'll actually do here, on that document, the first document that I shared with all of the recordings, we're expanding with additional tools, and I will link both the Canadian and the US holiday documents on our recording link that you guys see. So
Awesome.
Annalisa, would you be able to share that real quick? Just kind of look at it real quick to point them where it is.
You mean
The Agent Quick Start doc with all the recordings there. Do you have it pulled up?
I don't.
Okay, so it's
No.
it's in the chat if you want to pull it up.
Oh, okay. Let me grab it. She's like,
Yeah.
I may make one up and compare it afterwards. Yeah. And Veronica, you know what? If any of you see a holiday on here that you're like, okay, well, I need this one added, let me go ahead and drop my email in here and just email it to me saying, hey, what about this date? And then I'll get to adding it. But
you can also add it yourself. Just make your own copy of this document and you can just set it up.
I mean, you could, but I wanted to make sure everybody got it.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
What I'm saying though, too, guys, is that with date-based campaigns, I'm just kind of gonna drive this home. Holidays are always great. Like there's no doubt in my mind that you would want to set those up, but it's not just for holidays.
No,
I want to
birthdays, anniversaries, anything.
Anything, seriously. Setting up a date-based campaign, and if you want, I'll go into that. If you don't want to here, Annalise, I'll share my screen and show that off. But it does offer a lot of context in how you're working with, when you're organizing events, when you're setting up a planned listing. If you have an open house this weekend, this is a fantastic tool to use exactly with that.
Yep.
And it could engage with 10 people. It could engage with a million, depending on how many leads you have.
The audience.
Yeah, this is the nice part though, is you're not going to have to worry about it attaching to the correct audience. The smart campaigns are smart enough to know it. So
now to create one of these from scratch, like if someone's like, well, I'm going to create one for myself for today. All you have to do is go into your marketing smart campaigns. And first we're going to click and add a campaign. We're going to create the shell. And I always refer to it kind of like the taco shell. Like, what are we going to put in this taco shell to serve up a tasty meal of a text, right? I know it's a really weird metaphor, but it works. If you're an admin, you choose your scope. So if you're an agent, it'll just have you here. If you're an admin, make sure to choose your company, office, or team. And then you'll say, on a specific date, I want the following to happen. So if you were doing one for the US, you could say specific date. And then maybe we do one for like the 25th, the day before Thanksgiving, or the day after, or whatever. And then you can click run annually, so it repeats itself. And you can go in here and say next. And who are we going to send this out to? I'm going to send it to everybody in my entire database.
Everyone that's subscribed. Remember
that too,
guys.
If they're archived, they don't get anything from us, of course. Yeah. Then you can go in here and say, like, 2022 US Thanksgiving text holiday message.
This is another thing too, guys. This area for you, it's just a good reminder, remember that if it's your copy or if you're creating it originally, just, put in the name and the description for yourself. This
Yeah.
isn't for anyone else. This is for
Yep.
you to remember exactly what this campaign does. You can make it seem silly because it's a silly campaign, or you can make it more serious, or I don't know.
Whatever
What?
makes sense to your noggin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then you'll click next, and then it gives you a recap of like, okay, what is this? When are we sending it? What's the purpose? So you'll see it's from me as an agent to everybody. This is as agents, but it's catching the whole shoot and match. It should be at least. Let me make sure it captured that. You can always back up. Yeah, it's capturing everybody. And then you can click on these to make sure you've got your elements. If you want to go back to your logic, design for, details, review. So you give it the once over and then you're like, yep, looks good. Then you can finish. And then it's going to add the empty shell of that campaign name. So when we look across here, we know it'll trigger on the 25th of November, but we don't have anything inside of it yet. So what I did in this case is I basically grabbed the name of the campaign, and this is what I named my text to kind of keep some continuity of naming, to make it easier for me to remember things. So I copied the name of the campaign, and now we're going to go create a template in texts to put into this. So you'll click template. You'll click add template, text template. And then you basically just drop that guy in there. So this is where you could say like it's, just the text, like the Thanksgiving text. And then this is where you can go shift bracket, first name. So, I forgot to put the hi there. So hi, first name. And then maybe you use the same message that I did for Canada, which is about like on Thanksgiving Day, just be thankful you're not the turkey, right? So there's always something to be thankful for, at least you're not the turkey. I thought it was kind of funny. But this is the message that I use. You just pop that in there, or you can create your own. And then when you add template, just copy this name. So you bring it with you so it's easy to find, so you can add it to your campaign. Give this the once over. You're like, all right, good to go. Add template. Now the template's added within this text area. So whenever you're looking for a specific type of communication in your templates, we're going to click text message, and then you'll see it's right here. But I could also, keyword thanks, and it comes up for me right here. So I've got my US and my Canadian one here, and I can always edit this or clone it for something else. Now, if I want to add this to my campaign I created for my US Thanksgiving text, I'm going to click into the campaign. I'm going to add action, text. I'm going to paste in that name, paste the template name in, choose my match, let it run on that date of the 25th, add. And now all I have to do is go over here and flip it on. So
Very
if
cool.
I want to add this to other people that are US based in my dashboard, I can go to my smart CRM, all contacts, and then I can pick folks. So like if I went back to my own name, I'll just use myself as an example. I have quite a few leads in here. Look at that. I'm everywhere. But let's say we want to add it to this one, like all three of these. You could say, all right, well, we're going to pepper Annalisa with a text message from everywhere. So you'd be like, okay, let's add, these folks to that campaign. More actions, add campaign, and then you choose that campaign, add it, and then it's going to be landing on those specific people. So if we open up this one, we'll look over here to the right-hand side. This is all about communication on this right-hand side. And we'll see I have this campaign ready to go for Thanksgiving.
Very cool. So Veronica did ask a question. So since Thanksgiving changes, it always does,
Yeah.
would you be able to click and edit so you can change the date, or how does that work? Yep.
Yeah, so you just go right into your smart campaign, and maybe next year it's like on the probably the 26th or something. So you would go into your campaign, edit, and then change your date right here. So you would click on the month, or if it's going to be for the year, do your year first of like, 2022. And then actually it's the 25th next year too. So it
There
should
you go.
be fine. And then you just basically click next, and then it just helps you redo that. But when it clicks annually, it should update annually to match that date. But I see what you're saying about Thanksgiving, because it's like the last Thursday of the month that it has a different date
Yeah.
sometimes.
July the 4th and Christmas, no problem, but
Right.
Thanksgiving, no.
Right. Thanks, Thanksgiving. But hopefully this has been kind of helpful and kind of spurred you into like, what else could I send? What else could I pepper in here? So there's all
Awesome.
sorts of opportunities you have to build something in. So like if you have a holiday or something specific after, like Christian said, like maybe after a family event you had with your customer appreciation, you can create a one-time text to go out maybe 2 hours before the event. Hey, don't forget to go here, click here to get to a map for directions. You can add in things like that. So there's a lot of different things you can do to use this. I just thought it'd be kind of fun to start with holidays.
Yeah, I like that. With other pieces though, guys, you can share these campaigns as well. Let's come full circle, right? So if you create a campaign and you feel like it's very worthy, or just something that can help maybe a struggling agent in the office or something like that, just share one of these, okay? And you'll be able to get a code, all right? But do be aware, any of the content that you do put in there, like say you added an image or something like that, definitely recommending that if you do add content that's outside of your brokerage, that you have permission to, such as, go ahead.
Keep in mind, texts are SMS only.
That is true.
Unless you have core video by BombBomb.
Actually, let me just put in one little caveat to that, Annalisa, because they can send images of listings through a text.
Yes, but you can't attach something.
Yeah. I just want to make sure
that was a good call out, though.
Yeah, if you do put anything like a link in a text message or an image, well, the image itself, it's not going to be too worrisome, because the only way you can add it is via the MLS ID for the listing. So regardless, what I'm trying to say here, guys, is that just know, if you add any additional content to any smart campaign and you share that smart campaign, just make everyone aware of what's in it. That's all.
Right. All right. That's a good point.
So with that being said, though, Annalisa, I think that kind of wraps up what you wanted to bring to the table here today. Was there anything else you maybe wanted to just say to these folks?
I don't think so. I just thought it was kind of a fun idea, and I hope it spurred like some creativity for you to be like, oh, what should I do? And like that little fun, like putting your hand on your chin, like, how could I leverage this to make it work for me? So hopefully this has been a good little session on how to create a scheduled text message campaign.
Definitely agree. Yeah. And with that being said, guys, I am more than happy to just open up the floor for any questions about any topics. You guys can raise your hand or you can chat in your questions. But if nothing comes through, I might end this early. So with that being said, I'll just go ahead and share my screen and take it back.
And I think, do you need me anymore?
You can probably hop off if you'd like, but you can also stick around and maybe just see what these folks have to ask. It's up to you.
No, that's great. I just wanted to check in with you. I will be right here.
All right. So Tom, it looks like you've raised your hand there, my man. Did you want to unmute yourself, or do you not have a mic? I've allowed you to talk.
Yeah, thanks. Just a quick question on Core Present.
Okay.
They have a radius, a mile radius or whatever it is, but I don't see anything for subdivision. I could be wrong.
Not too sure about the subdivision. Are you aware of anything with that, Annalisa?
I know sometimes, depending on how a listing agent may put in listing subdivisions may show, it can also be pretty MLS dependent. Is it a particular neighborhood, or is it like a new build subdivision, Tom?
No, everything. I'm just wondering, can you search by subdivision?
Oh, you should. Anything that's available through the MLS should be pulling through on Core Present.
Okay, so that's where you see, you search, like rather than putting in a city, you put in the subdivision or something like that.
Potentially.
Potentially, yeah. It can pull up a neighborhood. You can use zip codes as well, or postal codes for Canadians, and you could do city, area,
Okay.
yeah, all
Then-
sorts. As
then-
long as it's listed within the MLS, you should be fine there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Great.
Okay. With that being said, I just want to point this out to you because you brought this up here, Tom. What we have, guys, this is Core Present. This is a separate product from kvCORE. Some people like Tom do have it bundled with their accounts. If you'd like to find out more information about Core Present, it's a kind of like a CMA tool, except really advanced. You can find it in our marketplace. I believe the core add-ons right here, and you should see, where is it? Core Present right there. I already have it, so I can just sign into it, but it is a great tool, especially for any listing agents listening right now. I do recommend it. It's highly efficient. The data on it is super accurate. And the best part about it is that it kind of just builds a presentation for you so that when you try and get that listing, it's pretty solid. And then one other piece there, Tom, just want to let you know, while we are mainly focused on kvCORE during this training series, we are going to be stepping into some of our other products, including Core Present. So we'll have more training on that, but we're definitely going to make sure that you guys know that it's not always about kvCORE. So looking in the future, probably a couple weeks from now, we might look at some other topics, just because next week is Thanksgiving, and we are cut off for Thursday and Wednesday. I will be out of office Wednesday, so in terms of next week, it kind of have a short one. But
just a quick question: how do you know whether a product is kvCORE or not?
Basically, everything that you're seeing here
Yes.
for the navigational menu items.
Yes.
That is a part of kvCORE,
Yes.
unless, whoops, I meant to go to the marketing tab here. Unless you see it in green. Those are usually paid tools, the green ones there.
Oh,
Okay.
they're not kvCORE.
Well, they're part of our kvCORE family, as part of our family of products. So they're all run by us.
Yeah.
So when you're looking in the marketplace, there's like our third-party vendors that you can see the third-party connections we have, but everything else is basically, we've created it. So anything like in here is basically what we run. And then if you look across the top tabs, across the very top, it'll say managed subscription core add-ons, third-party tools. All the way across almost. Yeah. Okay. And this is like our partners with like other folks.
Yeah. So
are they covered in the question thing on every day, the question and answer thing, or can we ask any question, or must it?
Yeah, you can definitely ask any question. I will say this: I'm not incredibly versed in Core Present. I do know how it works and how it's supposed to work, but I haven't dived into too much of that training. I am, however, the resident trainer for Core Listing Machine, so like I know that product as well as back office too. Those are some other pieces, but pretty much anything in the marketplace that is our product, we know through and through.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, feel free to ask any questions. It doesn't just have to be about the topic that Annalisa brought up, although I will say what she did share was really useful. But following this.
Oh, I know what we need to show them.
Oh, what's up?
Patricia has a great question. Does the file section work? So could you open up a contact,
sure.
Christian?
Yeah.
Because this is a really good point. So what she's speaking to, across the top of this, you've got this file tab. And what this does is it allows you to connect your Google Drive to a specific contact. So you have folders for these folks.
Yeah, I am connected. So let's see if, yep. Okay, it pulls up my desktop there.
Yep. So you pull it up, and then when you upload an image, when you upload a file, it actually creates a file for that contact on your G Drive.
There you go. So it's bringing this file.
She couldn't get the file to stay with the contact. Oh, were you trying to make it stay right here, Lavonda, on this page?
Oh, let me allow her to talk. Well, actually, Patricia's coming into this. Patricia, we're going to allow you to talk in just a second there.
Oh, sorry, Patricia.
Oh, it is Patricia that's asking it.
Hey, Patricia.
Hi.
So you were trying to upload a file?
Yeah, so I did it a couple of times because I thought, okay, am I going crazy? I'm pretty
Mm.
sure I uploaded a file here.
Okay.
So I did it a third time and it would disappear. As soon as I got out of the contact and went back, it was no longer there.
Let's see.
It should upload into a folder on your, so click on view all files on the top right.
Ah,
It'll open your G drive and
There it
that's
is.
where you'll find it.
yeah.
Yeah, and I did that, but this file still wasn't there. It had
Really?
the folder, but the file wasn't there.
Oh,
Yeah,
were
so
you
that was
able to
weird.
open a case with support to let them know?
No, I need to do that.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it does work. It should have
Yeah.
a file right there. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll suck it right up into your Google Drive. So the next time you open file, you won't see it there, but it'll be in the file list in your G drive.
Mhm.
And then you can access that on your mobile or your desktop, laptop
See if I can
anytime.
Drop
I really
another
like that.
file. Let's go for that image. There we go. And view all files. And there it is.
Okay, I'll try it again, and if it doesn't work, I'll
Here's
open it.
you do have to have your account synced up, correct, Annalisa? With
Yeah,
the
you would
Gmail?
need to
Yep.
have your Gmail synced and
So-
your Google synced.
You need to have this synced up through here.
Oh,
If you're not aware of how to sync this, let me just show you real quick because
Wait.
it's very easy.
I didn't
All right.
sync email, but I synced everything else. Would that work still, or you have to sync
No, you
email?
have to sync your email. So right up here, this little envelope icon allows you to sync either Google Mail accounts or Outlook. Those are the only two that we can work with because these two provide business functionality. With Gmail, you're just going to sign into the person you are as, allow the permissions for kvCORE to access your Gmail.
All
And
it
that's
does is bring a copy of a view in for you. We don't
Yeah.
touch it. It
Yeah.
just gives you the ability to view it on your dashboard.
Nothing's ever going to happen from kvCORE to change anything that's in your Gmail account. You don't need to worry about that. And then after that is when it's synced up. And you'll see here, I've got all my emails coming through. And then I can just hop into my Google settings right here
Mhm.
and then sync this up.
Okay,
And
so I
then-
had that turned off.
You probably didn't even have it connected if you haven't even set that up yet.
No, it's set up. I just
Okay.
had the email part turned off.
Yeah.
Okay,
she didn't have email
So
synced,
do you
yeah.
need the email in order for it to work?
I recommend two of these to turn on, the email and the calendar. The contacts, I don't necessarily always recommend syncing up because of one specific reason, and that is you're pulling in all of the contacts, be it Mr. John and Mrs. Smith or Amazon.com when you made that purchase for your desk.
Okay, I don't want
Yeah, your kid's
Yes.
4th grade teacher from years ago, stuff like that.
Okay.
So these two ones, though, I do recommend to sync up because one, the calendar syncs both ways. So if you bring a phone call here, it's going to show up in your Google Calendar. If you set up a phone call in your Google Calendar, it's going to show up in kvCORE. That's how awesome the calendar can work for you. And then also you can see, wait, did I sync my calendar?
Right above, it's right
Yep,
there.
I'm
Yeah.
blind.
Slow down, man.
But there we have it.
Yeah. Now there was another question that I saw from Veronica saying, oh, well, what about Outlook? So you can sync Outlook or Google.
Yes.
So you have the ability to connect both, Veronica. So you should be fine.
Although what I will say is if you do have both, okay, I think you can only have one connected at the same time.
Correct. It
But
has to be a primary.
What you can do is just connect the first one, get all the contacts or the calendar or whichever you need to, and then you could just go into the Google settings or the Outlook settings and then just disconnect and then reconnect the other one so that it has it as well.
Veronica saying, yeah. I've never tried it via Outlook, but I can find out.
Yeah, I believe it does just because
I believe so too.
Yeah, it's pretty much all the same features that you got with Google are also in Outlook. But yeah, feel free to try it and see it. And if it's not working, maybe reach out to our support team. They might actually know a bit more about the configuration there.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. One other thing about the birthdays for the spouses.
That's what I was trying to loop back to. Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, absolutely. So so if you click on profile details up there, on the second column, if you click edit, about 2/3 down, you'll see call and texting options. If you drop in the last close date and then toggle that little dude on to send the anniversary text and email, it'll actually send annually a happy house anniversary text and email. If you look to the fourth column down, this is all about details on your contact. So about halfway down, you'll see the birth date. You can drop in the birth date.
With birth dates, remember, if you select the year or the month, it's just going to bring up that option for you. So I'll select the year. I mean, hopefully I didn't sell to a baby, so we're probably going to have to go a few years back.
Just go to 72, man. Oh my God, not 90. That's when I graduated high school. Killing me, man.
All right. So,
but yeah,
birthday,
you can put the date in. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just stick with July 18th today.
Yeah. And then you toggle it. Yep. And the cool thing is, if you have these on, you can either let the system send our messages we created, or you can create your own.
Yeah.
So
and if you go back to the templates area, guys, you can head over to, well, did you want to go and change the template first or create it, right?
I just want to show them where it lives first.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So in the marketing tab, you'll see the birthdays and anniversary section. You can click on learn more here, and this will offer you the ability to, generally it's going to have all the contact statuses turned on, but it's going to offer you the ability to change the template itself. Okay, now you're changing the template. Do understand that it does, does require you to go to the template section to edit it, but you can see a preview of what it looks like there for you. Okay.
Oh, she said the file section does not work with Outlook, so you need to be logged in with Google.
Okay. Huh.
So I'm sorry, but will it send it to a spouse's birthday?
No.
Okay, so it does not.
Yeah, what I normally recommend is to throw a hashtag on, like spouse June B-Day.
Yeah.
Spouse July B-Day. And then you can like trigger to have like a maybe mail them a card.
And here's another thing too with the birthdays. When you change, I actually recommend this to change the template and actually run before the date. Okay. Main reason for me is you'll get most people saying, well, you just had my birthday on Facebook or something, right? This is like key. It doesn't have to be 3 days before. You can honestly just do it like the day before their actual birthday, and it'll make them think, oh, you know what? Patricia's a cool gal. She reached out to me. Maybe I should try and hang out with her more often, right? And then all of a sudden you've built up more interaction with your sphere, you know? It's just one of those things, like it shows that you care, right?
Right.
So that's just an idea on my end. And then of course you can do this with both the email and the text messages as well. And just remember, guys, these templates, they're back in the Smart Campaign section right here. And those are your templates. You can look up the birthday one. And maybe you want to change it around. If you do, remember, can't edit the original copy, but you can clone it and then make your own, right? And just as I did before, I added my CJD copy on it. Okay. All right. So thank you for being our dummy there, Veronica, to test out that section. I just don't have
or a nice volunteer.
I'm sorry. Yes, nice volunteer. Test. Yeah, I usually go for test dummy for myself.
That's hilarious.
I'm all, well.
Test dummy.
Lavonda did ask us to review transactions here.
Yeah.
Now, here's a big thing, Lavonda. Thank you for bringing this up again.
I need to jump out. So
go for it.
Everybody, I still appreciate you all being here and for asking your questions. I need to dive out, but I will be back. I might be back next week to help out, but I'll be back every Monday going forward unless I need to switch out with somebody. So cool. I'll catch you on the flip side.
See you, Annalisa. So coming back to Lavonda with your question with the transactions, as you can see, I don't actually have any myself because this is a test account. To have a transactions tab, you have to have a transaction management tool. A couple of those that you might be aware of are, what was it called? I'm sorry, Dotloop, SkySlope, API connection. I'm sorry, what was that?
Transaction desk.
Transaction desk is another one. Yep. If you guys go over to the marketplace, okay, you can sync up any of these transaction tools at no additional cost. These aren't something that you have to pay for because you're already paying for them, or your broker is. And to get them synced up, what you need to do, let me just scroll all the way down. It's probably at the bottom. Yep. So with any of these, SkySlope, Dotloop, Transaction Desk, all of them, you're going to click on Learn More. DocuSign's another. Add to kvCORE and just sign in. Once you do that, cool, you've got Dotloop, you'll sign in, it'll sync up to your kvCORE. It might take a full 24 hours to fully link up there, Lavonda, but when you have your transactions completed, okay, it will bring on in all of the information, and you'll have the transaction itself, as well as a transaction number to direct you to Dotloop or whichever service you have connected to your kvCORE. Okay. Following that, these pieces with the transaction, there is one other option for you. If you guys have Core Back Office, Core Back Office is one of the tools that we provide. Okay. It doesn't look like I have it synced up here. Yeah, I don't. Again, you can find it in our core line of products. It is a great tool, but usually what happens with Core Back Office is you have it set up at the admin level. You don't really need to manage it. However, you will still have access to it via your transactions tab. All righty. Did that help you out there, Lavonda? I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure. I know you asked that question earlier and we kind of forgot. Anthony, you're asking where you can find that Google setting for the envelope there. Yeah, I can definitely hear, Lavonda. If you raise your hand next time, just letting you guys all know when you raise your hand, I can see it. There you go, Lavonda. Go ahead and unmute yourself there.
Yeah, so I have it linked together, with Dotloop, but I'm finding that it's not connecting to the particular contact.
Okay. Does the contact have the same information in both systems?
I would say yes. You mean as far as like email address?
Yeah, name, phone number, email, that kind of thing.
Yes, I'll double check, but I'm almost sure.
So that could be one of the reasons why. If you're still experiencing errors where the syncing isn't coming over, what I would definitely recommend is to see if our support team can disconnect it for you and reconnect the synchronization. But if
Okay.
you're not seeing the transactions, something may be a bug. But what I'll also mention too is one big area you need to have set up for this to work is over in your profile. In your profile, there is a section called the Agent MLS ID. Make sure that this is linked up with your actual your agent ID from the MLS. If this isn't there, the fact is that the MLS feed that we have feeding to your kvCORE account and your website, it's not pulling any of your data. So that's why the transaction wouldn't be showing on your transactions tab, and the files or the link with the information, it would show incorrectly.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Patricia, I saw that you mentioned that your upload still is not working. That sucks. I'm gonna say that you're gonna have to report that to our support team because they're gonna be the only ones that could probably fix that for you.
Okay, I'm doing that now. Thank you.
Cool. DocuSign included. Tom, not in any kvCORE package. It is a third-party tool that you can gather from the marketplace and add it into the system. So Tom, if you want to keep using it, you can. It's just you need to sign into it through kvCORE here. That's all. It's not at an additional cost. It's just as long as you have the product, you can use it. Cutting back up here, Anthony, let me repeat the Google setting here. In that envelope, in the upper right corner there, you'll be able to see Google settings from the dropdown. And from there, you can access them. Alrighty. Okay, go ahead. Shoot your question away.
The transactions, because that's one part I haven't used yet. Is there any special functionality with that? Is there anything that it does?
What it does is it basically just links to the tool that the transaction had taken place. So there's no real functionality behind it other than the display of information and to access that info in greater detail from the product, be it Dotloop, DocuSign, or whichever you linked up there.
Okay, so there's no analysis done on it or anything like that?
The only kind of analysis that would take place here is any kind of status change, okay, as well as, let me see here, not the closing date. Yeah, the analysis, excuse me, it would show the closing date and the statuses change in your business analytics tab through the source performance. So when leads have their statuses literally changed, moved into closed or whatnot, that
Mhm.
data would be pulled over and you could track it scrolling down in this breakdown to see where and how often people from that lead or from that lead source have been collected and actually turned into a client or a past client, hopefully, right?
Okay,
Getting all those sales
cool.
going.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up, Lavonda. Sorry for keeping you on mute there. Just future reference, guys. Whenever you have a question that you just want to ask and speak about, just raise your hand. It's the best way for me to see that you want to talk to me. Alrighty. Okay. With that said, was there any other questions, guys? We're running up to the time, but we still have a couple minutes left. If nothing's springing to mind, what I'll leave you guys with here today. So how did I get to this screen here, Veronica? It's the business analytics tab with source performance. Okay. And that's this tab here. If I can leave you guys with one last bit of information, all right, instead of calling you dummies and test dummies and stuff, what I'll mention with the smart campaigns that we looked at today with Annalisa, experiment with them. This is one of those tools that you can drive a lot of engagement without even thinking about it. Something that I really like is that once you kind of set up everything that you need to with the smart campaigns, you can just leave them be. You don't have to manage them. They're not a tool that you need to come back on a consistent basis unless it's Thanksgiving. Remember, that date always changes. But all of this information here, utilizing these campaigns for your business, I will say, the wilder you get with them, the more creative you are with them, hey, you can definitely drive different types of engagement. I feel like this is yours. Just use it. All right. Okay, guys. Well, since there are no questions left, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to end this meeting, but I'm going to go ahead and share this link to the document one last time so you guys can access this video. Today is the 18th. I will have the recording for all of you guys pushed out later today. So that being said, everyone, you have a great day.